How can we help a teen who resists getting help, such as going to therapy or taking medication?
So that is a huge challenge, right? When children are very young, they'll typically do what their parents say. As they get older, they have more agency and they have much stronger opinions. And so I think if someone's saying, I'm not going to do this, rather than having infinite conversations, having some other trusted adults be part of the conversation can be helpful, whether that's a pediatrician, a counselor at school, a coach, someone else in addition. Not that the parent shouldn't start, of course you should, they're your child, but getting some others involved. And I also think it's important to be able to share with them what you expect to get better. Not just, look, I think you have this, you need to do this treatment, but identify the symptoms that are most problematic to them and say, I know you haven't been able to enjoy yourself, or I know you're having trouble thinking. I really think this is going to help change that. A line I've used with my own friends and family who have been resistant to getting treatment is to say that I think you're suffering when you don't need to. I just don't want to see you suffer when you don't need to. But the main thing is to not have any thought that you're going to have one conversation and go forward. If you're that lucky, I'm thrilled for you. Typically you have to have multiple conversations and even bring in other really trusted adults. You don't want to get random people because then they'll be angry that you're sharing their private business. But if they have a really trusted coach, really trusted teacher, someone in the community that they're part of an organization, someone like that might be helpful to include too sometimes.
Someone asks, what are triggers for depression for school-age children, and is it possible for depression to be prevented?
Sure. So prevention, we're not sure about. What I can tell you is that depression's like other medical problems. If you think about something really common for young people, asthma. Sometimes asthma comes out of the blue. Sometimes it's because you cleaned out your grandmother's dusty attic. Sometimes it's because you visited your friend with 3 cats. We don't treat it differently if it's out of the blue or from the cats. We don't say out of the blue, you get an inhaler, and the cat, you should have known better, you don't get an inhaler, right? We say, you're having an asthma attack, we're going to treat it. So there are certainly life stressors and triggers, including hormonal changes and major stress, major losses, the loss of a parent, God forbid, or the loss of a grandparent. But sometimes it comes out of the blue. The tricky part is that, yes, those things could trigger it, but also if you're depressed, your reaction to things that happen in life gets way out of proportion. So often people will say to me, well, I think this is all because that girl broke up with him. I'll say, well, I think from speaking with him that the depression started before, so his reaction to that was out of the blue. So if you said, well, what are some things I could do that maybe would help? We don't know a surefire way to prevent, but having young people not smoke pot, not drink alcohol, and get enough sleep are pretty basic things that could be helpful. And they're also really, really challenging things to achieve.